If there were to be a national abortion ban, you would be okay with
well,
that.
you know what? It's not what Charlie Kirk wants. If it were to pass, it means the people want it. Because the representatives reflect the will of the people.
Or it could be enacted as an exexitive action.
Well, no, it can't. First of all,
you can reinstate the Comstock law and have it apply to
the Supreme Court has said that it's to the states, and that's where it holds right now. I think that's a really good place for it, considering the temperature of the country.
Project 2025, which is Donald Trump's plan.
Well, no, it's not, actually. So it's like, I'm not going to let you come up here and just lie.
What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are feeling good. My name is Elaru, and today I'm back with an amazing check-out with you guys. This is called Charlie Kirk Runs Rings Around Kamala Supporter. You know the drill, guys. We talk less and we react more. Let's check this out.
Hi, Charlie. My name is Sophie, and I have a couple questions for you. My first is that, do you believe in state rights?
Yeah, I do.
You do? Okay. Are you okay then with the possibility of having a nationwide abortion ban?
I mean, there's zero chance of that happening, but of course, one day I would love to have that happen. Yeah, I mean, we can't get 30 Republican senators to agree that they're pro-life, and so it's fear-mongering by your preferred candidate to try to hold on to political power.
So
and by the way,
you're okay with it, though, if it were to pass? If there were to be a national abortion ban, you would be okay with that?
Well, you know what? It's not what Charlie Kirk wants. If it were to pass, it means the people want it. Because the representatives reflect the will of the people.
Or it could be enacted as an executive action.
Well, no, it can't. First of all,
you can reinstate the Comstock law and have it apply to
the Supreme Court has said that it's to the states, and that's where it holds right now. I think that's a really good place for it, considering the temperature of the country.
Project 2025, which is Donald Trump's plan.
Well, no, it's not, actually. So it's like, I'm not going to let you come up here and just lie. That's not true. It was done by an outside group. He had nothing to do with it. But
the Heritage Foundation, which he took over 60% of his policies from in his first term, you're going to say he's completely separate from the Heritage Foundation? Also,
yes, I will.
The authors of Project 2025 were senior people in his first office.
Well, hold on. Since we're talking about Project 2025, maybe you can help me explain this. Do you support Kamala Harris getting rid of the filibuster to restore Roe versus Wade?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't believe in the filibuster.
You don't believe in the filibuster?
I think it's anti-democratic.
Okay. Do you think we should ban fracking?
Yes, I do.
Does your candidate?
She's kind of iffy on that one. She was against it, or she was for banning fracking in her.
Do you think she's telling the truth when she says she's for it?
Well, for banning fracking?
No, that she says she's for fracking. Is she telling the truth?
I think that she's being pushed one way or the other because people are she's working on winning an election.
Oh, winning an election, so just tell the voters what they want, right?
I think that if you want to win an election, you have to sometimes compromise on the things that you originally believed in. She realized that it was not a productive policy when she was running in 2020, and she didn't get the nomination, so she backstepped. And it's okay for people to change their opinions when they've learned more.
What is her greatest accomplishment?
She's had a record number of tie-breaking votes in the Senate of any vice president ever.
What's the greatest legislative accomplishment you'd point to?
I don't have
any. No, but the tie-breaking vote. Tell me one tie-breaking vote.
Oh, I wish I had this on the top of my head, but I don't. I have another question for you.
Do
you believe in parents' rights?
I'm curious about her achievements. Of course, parents can't abuse their kids, but I do believe in parents' rights. Yes, but tell me this.
Do you believe that it's okay to ban
I'm asking you a question.
theory nationwide?
Yes, of course we should ban critical race theory from
publicly
funded schools.
Rights.
No, okay. Again, I'm happy to.
That's backwards.
Well, hold on. Do you think that we should teach eugenics in our schools?
We do teach about eugenics.
No, teach it as fact.
But we teach about it when we talk about
Nazi Germany. No, should we teach it as fact?
About eugenics.
Yes.
Explain your question more.
So critical race theory is immoral and wrong and believes that certain races are not worthy of being treated as well.
No, critical race theory is about defining structures and
right. So tell me who was the original author of, since you know about it, who was the original critical race theorist in the 1990s? Name one.
I don't have the names off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's Derek Bell, Angela Davis.
You just said that you were for
Kimberly
parents'
Crenshaw.
rights. But you're against parents' rights if you're okay with them having a nationwide ban for critical race theory.
Hold on a second. I do not believe that we should be teaching children that white people are bad because of the color of their skin. I think that's repulsive and it's wrong.
That is fine as a belief.
No, that's what CRT is.
That goes against your own belief in parents' rights. Do you believe in small government?
Hold on a second. Let me answer. Let's slow down a second. Parents' rights. If a parent wants to homeschool their kids and teach critical race theory, they have the right to do that. We should not taxpayer fund it, though. But let me ask you this question.
But if parents are taxpayers and their taxpayer money is going to publicly funded schools, that's pretty counterintuitive.
Let me ask you this question. Your candidate right now is not doing very well. You agree?
No, I don't. I think it's actually just a neck-and-neck race. It's going to be one on the margins.
Okay, great. So why is it that most Americans think that Trump handled the economy better than Kamala and Biden?
Because he inherited Obama's economy. Because we went into a recession. We went into inflation at the end of his term. Joe Biden inherited inflation. Joe Biden inherited his tax policies. Joe Biden. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not going to teach an economics class right now. Do you believe in small government?
Of course.
That's my question.
How many of you guys in the audience are getting crushed by inflation right now? Raise your hand.
All of us.
Look at this.
All of us. It's a global issue.
Wait, you're being crushed by your own vice president.
It's a global issue. Do you understand what? Do people here understand what a vice president does?
What has your vice president? What has Kamala done to secure the border?
People understand what a vice president does.
Wait, hold on a second. What does Joe Biden do?
He's the president.
Oh.
So she has to do whatever he wants her to do. That's what a vice president does. I'm sorry, you still haven't answered my question. Do you believe in small government?
Yes, you're doing a sequence of questions. Yes, I do. In what context, though? I believe the government should be small but strong.
Small but strong. Explain
Yes.
that. Explain
So
that.
small in its scope, strong in its enforcement. It should have morally clear terms of what it does. Yes.
So you're okay with expanding the military as it is part of the government?
No, actually. By the way, one of the reasons that we're here is because Kamala Harris is a warmonger who wants to send hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine while our own border remains wide open, and 320,000 kids are missing in sex trafficking because of your preferred candidate, Kamala Harris. Are you worried about those 320,000 missing kids?
Of course I'm worried about children. However, I don't believe that the vice president is responsible for that.
She's in charge of the border. She took credit for the border. She's the border czar. Joe Biden said this is who's in. She was said, I am in charge of the border. How has she done it doing that, by the way? Has she done a good job managing the border?
I honestly disagree with all of the past administrations on their border policies personally.
Okay, but do you think she's done a good job?
No, I don't think anybody's done a good job.
Do you want
However,
more?
there was
Okay.
an incredible, very strict border bill that went into the Senate and was voted down because Donald Trump himself wanted it to be a voting issue.
It's BS. And you
No,
know
people. There's literally quotes. There's literally quotes
let me
of
ask
people
you
saying
about
it.
So I don't want to spend too much time on this, but let me ask you: how many people would have been allowed to cross the border every day in the bill? Tell me.
It's in the tens of thousands.
5,000 people a day.
Yeah.
It would. So that means.
I'm not against that.
Do you believe in borders?
I do believe in borders, but I'm not against limiting by a random number. That's a random number. So we need to pay attention to the context in which people are crossing the border, why they're doing
context.
that. Context is important.
So when someone robs a bank, if they're hungry, that's okay?
Say it again.
If someone is poor, should they be able to break into America?
That's not at all what I'm insinuating.
No, what's the context then? I don't understand.
Nobody's breaking into. When you're talking about legal border crossings.
No. These are.
You're talking about 5,000 a day legal border crossings.
No. These are not. These are illegal entries into the United States of America.
Do you know that there have been more arrests under this administration for people crossing the border than there were during Donald Trump's
Yeah, because there's more
administration?
people coming across the southern border.
So context matters.
Yeah, 10 million people are illegally in the country. Let me ask one final question. Do you think Kamala Harris did a good job managing the Russian-Ukrainian war? She went to the Munich Security Conference days before the invasion. Is she someone that you think is a smart person?
I do think she is a smart person. That is a separate question. I don't believe that the Ukrainian war has been handled well by anyone in government. Personally. I think we can say eye to eye on that.
What's one thing Trump did right as president?
I'll help you out. He did a lot of good things. One of the things that he did was he was a president who really boosted the economy of the United States.
I disagree with that.
Started no wars.
That's not true either. No, he was a part of the Abraham Accords, which is the reason why Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th. That was because of his participation in creating the Abraham Accords.
Talk to me. Just talk to me here.
Okay. I can't think of a single thing that he's done that I would support. I disagree with it. What would you list as
The only
his
thing
favorite?
that I can add there is you've said that what does a vice president do, right?
Mm-hmm.
That she has to do whatever the president wants her to do. But when she was asked just a week ago, she was given the opportunity to maybe point out some differences. When she was asked on The View, what would you have done differently than Joe Biden? And she said, I cannot think of a single thing. So she is responsible. Joe Biden has said he delegated everything from domestic to foreign policy to her, and she has been by his side every step of the way through every major decision he's made. So she should be held accountable for a record that she continues to say that they are very proud of.
I disagree with this held accountable stance, but I actually agree that I thought that was a very poor answer. I thought that she had an opportunity there to bring in some of the voters who, are maybe on the fence about her because of Joe Biden's policies and because of the idea this would be a continuation of a Biden administration. I really didn't appreciate that opinion. And I also don't think that she's a perfect candidate. She's my preferred candidate, but I don't believe she's a perfect candidate. And so I'm fully with you with that. That was
Last question. Does
not a
it
good
bother
response.
you that there was no primary?
No, it doesn't. No, but and it's for a practical reason, and not like I would have preferred there have been a primary, but primaries are very expensive. I would have preferred. I'm not saying that I wouldn't have liked it. I'm just saying that I'm not making a huge issue about it.
So explain to me how the party of democracy can have a candidate that no one voted for.
Because it's within the rules. It's literally within the rules. Like we can change the rules later if we want.
Of course it's within the rules, but like no one voted for her. So how's that democracy?
I mean, they did vote for her for vice president.
Not in the Democrat primary. Joe Biden runs alone in a primary. There's no VP on the
Listen,
ticket.
I'm also not in support of the two-party system. I think the parties themselves have become extremely polarized. I think it's created a polarized community, and I think that the two-party system should be taken down.
So,
They should have less power.
you seem
I
like-
actually believe in getting rid of primaries altogether.
You seem like a smart person. What's your name? What's your name? I'm sorry.
Sophie,
Sophie, you're bright.
thank you.
You're not making a good political decision here. But let me just tell you this.
It's your opinion.
You will
Your
look
opinion.
back and you say, wow, Kamala Harris is a corporate shill who actually does support not just the two-party system, she supports a one-party system. She does. Let me finish, and then we'll just call it even. That she does not believe in freedom of speech. She censors her
Neither does
opponents.
Donald Trump. Neither does Donald Trump.
Yeah, Donald Trump. How could you say that? Who is it? Donald Trump ever shut up?
Wait, I'm sorry. You think that Donald Trump supports freedom of speech?
Of course he does.
He's extremely pro-Israel, and there are 38 states right now that have anti-BDS laws. That is a violation of freedom of speech, and if he were to take office, I'm sure that he would continue those. Also, the internet, I'm sorry, is not a utility. The only way for freedom of speech to be impeded, is if the government does something. But they said that those are private corporations. Do you believe that private corporations should be able to make decisions about what they do?
It's a lot more nuanced than that.
Is it?
Yeah. So, for example, should United Airlines be able to kick us off because we're Republicans now?
Well, what do you think?
Because there's only 3 carriers, and so it's more nuanced than that. For example, should AT&T be able to drop your calls if you say you're supporting Kamala if it's owned by a Republican? Answer the question. If AT&T
do you
finds
think
out
that corporations should have the freedom to make any executive decisions that they want?
when it gets to scale and it's a monopoly, it becomes
Okay,
more
great.
nuanced
So
than that.
we agree on breaking up monopolies then.
Yes, we do. I know, but that's why it's
Great.
more nuanced. So,
Yeah.
all right, we'll see who wins. Thank you so much.
Oh my. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. First off, I like her energy. She's actually the first person that I've seen that's so convinced to come and talk about that. You see, I really don't understand their hatred. I really don't understand how people can stand and deny something that they've actively seen. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard just pointed out that she should be held accountable because they asked her a question. What would you have done differently than Joe Biden? And she said nothing. Meaning that she's perfectly fine with every single policy he has put in place, even if the whole American community doesn't quite agree with those policies. Because her argument is the vice president does whatever the president wants him to do. But Joe Biden has actually said that he delegated foreign and domestic chores, I'm going to use the word chores there, to Kamala. This is the border control inclusive. And looking at the border now, we all know how she has done on that. Very bad. Her second argument was there are more arrests made on illegal immigrants now. But the quick reversal was that now there are more illegal immigrants, hence more arrests are to be made. So basically, I really don't see how someone could support an individual that obviously has nothing to offer. Her policies, if any, are not quite credible. I mean, yeah, people on the left are just scared that Donald Trump is going to reverse every maniac law that has been put in place to favor them. So I'm honestly, I won't say I'm amazed, but looking at this girl and some other leftists or Kamala supporters I've seen, sometimes I just sit and I wonder what goes through their mind on this particular person. I mean, what has she done to deserve your support, your vote? Because if you're just going to be using the 4 years of Trump being in office as president and the 3.5 years he has been in office as vice president as a standpoint of argument, then Trump is going to keep winning that argument again and again and again because his 4 years were relatively the best. And she talks on Trump inheriting Obama's economy and Joe Biden inheriting Trump's economy. Now, if you feel like things went bad under Trump, okay, let's just say for the first 3 years, because COVID came and, not just in America, but all over the world, things spiraled out of control. So, if he's not as effective as she claims, then if in the sense that he inherited a good economy from President Barack Obama, then why didn't he just go, why didn't he just go south immediately he went into power? Why did the economy wait for at least 3 years for it to go sour? And if Joe Biden inherited a bad economy from Trump, why didn't he use the first 3 years to make the economy better and then make America the inflation issue in America a bit favorable for them? So I think Donald Trump actually managed the economy well, and the issue of inheriting economies should not be even in play at all. But guys, tell us what you think about this in the comment section, and please remember to leave a thumbs up at the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe.